Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning into today's post show. My mic is not set up in the right spot, so I'm currently fixing that. My name is Josh. I'm one of the pastors here on staff, and I'm joined by three amazing people, Layla, Andy, and Elizabeth. Again, I just kidnap all the pre-show people every single week to come and join me on the post show. So I feel like you guys need to have like a new team name. It can't be the pre-show team because you're also on the post show so much. So we gotta figure out the pre-post show team.
Yeah, we need to make a new name. Yeah.
We'll come
up with something.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you gotta come up with something.
Okay.
It's your job, Elizabeth.
No pressure.
I have enough to do. What do you think, Josh?
Delegating on the spot.
Yep, smart man.
Layla, you haven't been here in like 3 or 4 weeks, and we have missed you so much. Can you just tell everybody where you've been for the past few weeks?
Well, we have, I have 3 kids, and 2 girls are highly involved in travel sports. So most of our weekends have been in Grand Rapids for travel volleyball, or here in Kalamazoo for travel softball. So a lot of times that's where we are. But this past week we went on a trip together, my husband and I, for our 15-year anniversary, which was Thursday. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
We haven't been on a vacation together since, like, just the 2 of us since 2009, which was our honeymoon. Do not recommend waiting that long. You should have regular time together. So it was much needed, very much overdue, and so much fun. Really unplugged. Went down to the beach, which I know is very familiar
Love Myrtle Beach.
to you. And we didn't have any plans going down there, so we just kind of woke up every morning and decided what we wanted to do. Had so much fun when the weather was perfect. Awesome. I'm just like relaxed and just, I'm happy to be back. It's hard not being at church consistently. So when I come, I'm grateful to be here and happy to be back.
Well, we're glad you had a great vacation, and we're glad that you are back joining us on our post show. Elizabeth, Andy, what were the highlights of your week?
You want to go? Because I got like multiple ones.
I saw this movie.
No, you
I saw
go.
this movie.
You thought of things right away.
Well, it's true. Because, all right, so Friday, I took the day off of work. I drove to the east side so I could watch Star Wars Episode 1 with a friend back in theaters. I saw it back-to-back screenings. So that was great. And then yesterday was Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and free comic book day. So I was Angie was gone with her mom. Boys were doing stuff. So I was like, see you later. I went to like 2 different comic book shops. I went everywhere. One of my friends put on a Star Wars comedy themed stand-up night. So I went, and I watched Star Wars all day. So perfect day.
Perfect May the 4th. Huh?
May the 4th be with you. And it was with me all day long.
Who followed you on Twitter like a couple weeks ago?
Only Mark Hamill himself, Luke Skywalker.
No way,
I about flipped out. My phone fell and I was like, this can't be
How
real.
is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
I don't know.
We've pre-showed together for so long. For like 3 weeks, and you have not mentioned it?
No, well, it just happened this past week, I think.
Oh.
But either way, it's such a whirlwind, so.
Wow.
It's not like we're friends or anything. He's Mark Hamill. He's Luke Skywalker. But I like to think we're close.
This is opening the door
You know him.
a incredible
You know him really well.
friendship.
Yes.
And he took 1 extra second out of his day to go follow.
Wow.
So,
What about you, Elizabeth? Highlight.
Ooh, I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
I went to a show with my dad.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can at the Civic. It was very good. And we had a great time. And then yesterday I went to prom.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
You looked so pretty.
Oh, thanks. So, yeah.
Sharks.
Yeah.
take the compliment.
I'm really good at taking compliments, guys.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun weekend.
Good. Awesome.
Woo.
Maybe that's why we're friends. We don't ever compliment each other.
Yeah.
Like terrible today.
Well, the highlight of my week, I went to the Brandon Lake worship night, and that was legit. I love Brandon Lake. And I got to see Benjamin William Hastings, and I love both of them. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is a dream come true.
Awesome.
Where was that concert at?
Van Andel
Okay.
in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So,
That's a really great venue, too.
yeah, it was so cool. We were on like the very last row on the floor, and there was a stage right behind us. So like he would walk down, we'd turn around. I was like, oh, hey, Brandon, you're right there.
He's like one of your favorite artists, isn't
Yes, he is. So his most popular song is called Gratitude.
Yeah.
He wrote it in like 2021, and it didn't really get popular until like 2022. But I've Brain Lake's from Charleston, so I've actually known and heard of him like even way before he was popular. And when Gratitude came out, I showed it to Chelsea, my wife, and it was actually our wedding song.
That's right.
So getting to hear him sing it live together was really cool. It was a really cool.
It was
flashback.
he was singing it just to you.
I
too.
know, it was so cool. It was really
So
cool.
kind of him.
Alrighty, let's go ahead. Let's hop into the actual agenda of our post show today. We wrapped up the End of the World as We Know It series, Pastor Perry talking about the new heavens and the new earth. So what stood out to you in today's message?
I gotta like really think about my answer here. I've been on like this streak of like whatever I answer this
know.
question is Josh's next question. So I gotta like
Ooh, it's a challenge.
I know.
Well, while you were thinking, I loved the second application point. It's one of my favorite Bible verses, Matthew 5:14-16, which in summary is, basically, to let your light shine and Pastor Perry said to be the example of God's best life so others are drawn to it. And that's just been something, it actually is my computer desktop, like home screen, because it's something I like to kind of remind myself of on a daily basis. That's one of my driving like mantras or purposes. So yeah, I was like, oh, that's for me. Just kidding. It wasn't for me.
It's for everybody, but
yes, yeah. but
mainly you.
It was one of those moments, right,
for
where
sure.
it's something I connect with. Like, like I said, it's just kind of like a really big internal driver for me. And that's how I want to show up on a daily basis. I don't always do that. Sometimes my light is don't be lighting.
Sometimes it's doom.
Yes. Yeah. But
Awesome. Awesome.
Still thinking.
You go.
Okay. I think we get so fixated on heaven that I don't think about New Jerusalem down here or the new earth basically after. And I always make the joke like, I sure hope there's a nice fluffy cloud. And it's like, no, you're not going to be just up in the heavens. And it's not just a like endless place. There's like an actual physical place that God will build for us here and make for us. And it's like the final step of his creation and plan on earth made whole and how we should have been living with him the whole time. But we as humans broke it. So yeah.
Yep. I kind of had two things. One of them was like one of the first things that Perry talked about, and it was that we will experience a new kind of world, a new kind of life, and a new kind of relationship with God. And that last part just kind of like, it didn't catch me off guard because like obviously like, yeah, we're going to be with him, we're going to be in his presence, but it's just like thinking about it in that way where it's like a new kind of relationship because it'll be more like, obviously like he'll be like right here, like he's
like,
obviously
hey,
all around us, but like to actually see him and be like, hey,
Every
hi.
morning. Yeah.
You're, hi. Like that's just so cool to think about that like,
Now you got me thinking about it.
wow.
Yeah, when I say hi, like, hey, Joshy, like, hey, God, like, go down the line.
It's just,
be like fist bumping.
yeah, it's just like, it just kind of was one of those things that like, yeah, I know that, but like, it was like oh, that's so cool type of thing. And then I liked the first application point. Our struggles here are temporary, so live for the process of perfect eternity. Because that one, I mean, there's so much that you can go through, and there's so much that like, I feel like I am going through right now that is so hard, and I'm struggling so much with it, and to like make sure that I am living for God even when I feel like everything else is like, oh my gosh. And so like that was just a good reminder for me that like right now like it's temporary, struggles are temporary, but like making sure to like have that mindset to live for God and for this future perfect eternity. Like it was just a good reminder for me right now.
Well, let's keep going down that avenue, Elizabeth, because
Are
you're
you
spot on. How can we live for the promise of perfect eternity in the middle of our present struggles?
You did it. 4 or 5 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. What are some steps that we can take?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I talked about it. For me personally, trying to navigate struggles as a person who feels like a burden when I ask for help or anything like that. It's very hard to like start this type of journey, and I'm still trying to navigate it and figure it all out. But I personally have started counseling, and I think that it is a great thing for people just to have someone to just talk to who's just going to listen and who's trained to help you come up with ways to navigate things that you're struggling with.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know how, like, everything is so new. I don't know how to deal with it. I'm just like, I have all this stuff and I'm like, okay, now what? Because I'm just like, I feel like it's just so heavy and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so that has been very helpful for me, just being able to just like talk. And I personally go to a Christian counselor just because I'm like, just having the same faith and just like to be able to then take the things that she, like the tools that she has, but then also to be like, and this is how we like incorporate like a relationship with God into these things has been very helpful. It's a very weird thing to adjust and like work on because it's like working through all the crap that I don't want to work through and I just kind of want to shove under
The
the
rug.
rug. And so that was my kind of first step. It was very reluctant and I really didn't want to do it at first just because like, I don't know, it's a very vulnerable place to be in to just kind of be like, hey, here's all my crap. How do you help me? But that has been very helpful in figuring out struggles and then trying to then incorporate, okay, now how do I turn the struggles for good for God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my step one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Working on step two now. Woo!
There you go. Progress.
Good job.
Yeah.
Step by step. Day by
Baby
day.
steps.
Yep.
I love that. I to piggyback off of what Elizabeth was saying, so I too have gone through many years of counseling and being kind of more on, not to say like the other side of it, because I also think it's a resource that everybody should keep in mind. So many wonderful benefits, but I think now in my walk of life, it's more of like having a more intimate relationship with God and being more thoughtful in prayer and intentional in prayer. And makes me think about a couple of the services that we had past few weeks, months, I don't know, because I haven't been here very much lately, so time's a blur. But when we were talking about like worshiping God every day, all the time, every minute, every moment, those have been things that I've been trying to embrace, and I do not do it by like natural habit. I have to be very thoughtful and purposeful with it, but it's those things that have helped me get through present struggles, future struggles. I think definitely having a community of friends, having a strong foundation of friendship and relationships at your church or with your family or like, therapy, whatever that external factor might be. But then I think for me right now in my walk of life, it's trying to strengthen my relationship with God and just, like I said, just taking it to a deeper level and, just it's a more intimate thing. It's something, I don't know, I've had it throughout my life, but it just feels different right now. Special, I guess, more meaningful. I'm just more drawn to it than I have been in the past. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Andy, you got one?
Yeah, I mean, struggles are always going to be there because we know human life is broken. But I think it sounds cliche, but the more you're in God's Word and the more that you're focused on Him, like through small groups, through volunteering in many ways, when those struggles hit, you're like, oh, I can hear God, I can feel Him more than because I know when I don't focus on those things or I let those things go to the wayside and I just focus on what Andy wants to do and just me, then it's like when those struggles hit, it's like infinitely more difficult. And so it's just keeping that active kind of just faith and being like, do I want to go to youth group every single Sunday? No, but I love it when I'm there, and then
Yeah.
it helps throughout the week on top of small groups, on top of helping in other ways, and just keeping my mind focused on him. So
Absolutely. I this week I was scrolling through my Explore tab on my Instagram page because I got it to sports and Jesus stuff, which is all I need on there. And I saw this clip that this guy was talking about our feelings, and he made the line of, our feelings are great servants, but horrible masters. God gave us feelings to be able to feel the things, to identify what we're struggling with, and turn to Him with the feelings. He didn't give us feelings so that we would listen and serve our feelings and let our feelings dictate our life. And whenever our struggles come our way, we obviously feel X, Y, and Z way about each and every struggle that comes. And if we let the feelings of those struggles dictate our actions of life, then we're going to not be able to think about the perfect eternity because we're going to be so caught up in the present struggle. But whenever we let our feelings just serve us and go, hey, this struggle is happening and I'm feeling this way, then we can take the feelings and we can go to our true master, which is God. So that is something that when I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, our feelings are great servants and horrible masters. Like that was just a line when I heard that.
that's
so
great.
I had
Needs
to
a
share
good
that.
T-shirt.
Yeah, I had to share that. That was a good one. Okay. You guys, I know, are a story bunch. You love to share stories and laugh about stuff. So these last couple of questions are all story based. Get to pick your guys' brains. So Pastor Perry said, be the example of God's best life so others are drawn to it. And he tied that into Big Serve. So with that being said, bye, Elizabeth. You got to go sing some songs.
Have fun rocking
play
our
some
socks off.
piano. What is your favorite Big Serve story, project, whatever it might be? What is like a Big Serve memory that you have? I was like, man, it was really cool getting to be able to serve in this way with these people and all that kind of stuff. It's like, what pops into your mind?
I
have one that
couple.
pops.
Go.
And how many Big Serves have you been a part of? Because I asked this question because I have been a part of 0 Big Serves.
Yeah,
I've never got
because last year you guys had to travel back, right?
Last year, the week ended up getting moved, and I had already had like an 80th birthday party for my grandpa planned that I had to go back for. And then the year before, I moved literally the week after Big Serve.
Yep.
So I've never gotten to experience Big Serve before, so I'm very excited for this year.
And
now you get a whole week of it.
I know, a whole week. I'm going to do a whole bunch of different sites. So I'm just going to go wherever I can.
Yep.
Yeah, I was checking them out too online, which small plug here. You can look. It's like you said earlier in the pre-show.
Now,
It's got its dedicated menu option on our website or app, and it's really neat to see the different options. I'm excited. I'm like, I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Maybe I'll do multiple. Anyways, so a lot of times I will go around and visit people. So I don't know what we're going to do this year. We would stream one of the days live, so people that couldn't attend, our online viewers, you could still see all of the great work that everyone was doing here. So more to come, I think, on that, because I'm not sure what we'll be doing this year since it's a full week. But before we were doing online streaming, one time we came home with a cat. There was a lady who had lots of cats, and she was looking to rehome them. And I distinctly remember just going over there and being like, I don't know, you pick. And so she picked a cat for us, and we still have her.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, her name is Charlotte, and she's Charlotte the cat, and she's great.
Fun.
So when I see my cat on a daily basis, I'm like, oh, my Big Serve kitty. She had so many fleas. It was very stressful at first.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Once we got past the fleas.
Once the fleas fled, it was
Exactly.
great.
What about you, Andy?
Oh, okay. So first off, I think on and off, I've been doing Big Serve since we started coming and since we started having it. So easily over a decade. I won't talk about last year when I got the worst poison ivy I've ever had in my life, but
We don't want to turn people
away. But guess what? It was still an amazing time. I think one year, one thing that stands out, we were helping out at a house. We spent hours outside weed whipping because the grass was like as tall as I was. So it was just
goodness.
like, we were just going through and like knocking it down so we could actually mow and stuff. And then they were like, we need help with this fridge. So I was like, okay. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was Mike Elkins at the time. He and I lifted up this fridge and it wouldn't budge because it was kind of solid, like kind of.
Yeah.
So we finally got it lodge free. And when we got it lodge free, the door opened and a bunch of smelly food came out on us. And I just remember looking at him going, if this was anywhere else, I'd be mad right now. But I'm here with friends and we're serving. And it was one of those things where we turned what could have been a horrible moment into a kind of a hilarious thing. And the fact that we were able to get that stuff out of that person's home and to see their face when they were like, they felt so bad, but they were like, thank you so much, because I couldn't move it myself. And I was like, that's why we're here. So there's been so many of those moments where we've been helping and somebody comes out and they just kind of, they get a little tear in their eye and you're just like, okay, this is why we're meant to do this stuff. So, yep. So many more to be had too throughout this upcoming May and June.
So you touched on it a little bit, but why should people participate in our Big Serve if they're able to?
Man, well, I feel extra lucky to be able, like I said earlier, to have gone to, for the past few years, each one of the sites, and we would do like little interviews with the workers, or sometimes we would even talk to the like homeowners or whatever the situation might be, and it's just endless amount of memories in my head of just feeling so much gratitude and love and energy that it's hard for me to even find the right adjectives for. It's just, you will feel the presence and the power of God throughout everybody who is there partaking and dedicating their time and their efforts. Right. It's so neat to see these actions done by our church, right? Yeah. Like it's something that I feel like it's just something that this event is like one of the main glue moments that we have at church, where it just really brings us together and it defines who we are. It's so neat. I love it. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but I guarantee if you sign up and for one of the days this week, you will feel those moments, and it'll be an experience that you'll never forget, and you'll be able to carry it with you throughout your walk of life, right? I mean, you can show up like that every day, but I don't know. It's just it's memorable. Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah. You have anything to add to that, Andy?
Yeah, I'd say there's so many times where religion and church gets a bad rep in the secular world. I've had so many friends that are like, why can't you come in and hang out with us? I'm like, oh, because our church is taking this weekend off to help serve. And they were like, really? And they were like, and I was like, yes. And they were like, that's cool. And to hear people who normally badmouth church or this or that say that's cool, because we're called to serve, right. And this is us putting aside what we normally would do to go just be the hands and feet of Jesus in Southwest Michigan here. So the fact that, and like you said, you meet friends, you create church families. There's Mike and I will still joke about, I'm like, hey, remember that fridge? So there are moments that you will remember forever, right. And you will be forever bonded with somebody in serving. And it's hard to put words to that, like you said, but you will feel a sense of church family and like, we did something helpful this week. So that's the best part you could possibly have. So.
Absolutely. Well, if you are wanting to get plugged into our Big Serve week from May 27th to June 1st, or you have any more questions about that, you can go to our Connect card. There should be a little QR code that pops up on our screen here in just a second that will allow you to scan that, and you can go directly to our QR code, to our website. You can put your little bit of information in there, and you can click that you're interested in Big Serve, and we'll get you all wrapped up into that so that you can see the groups that you can potentially sign up for, and to be able to ask any questions that you might have concerning Big Serve as a whole. I highly encourage you to get involved. This is going to be my first year doing it, and I'm extremely excited. I'm leading one of the sites for you students on Saturday. We're getting all the final details put together. Hopefully we'll have everything out for that one this week. We just got in contact again with the person just to be like, hey, is this everything? So more information will be coming on that. We will be adding a few more sites throughout the couple of weeks. So our goal, the reason why we're doing it over a week instead of just a couple of days, is we want to be able to make it to where there is an option on every single day at almost any time so that you can work it around your schedule, your sports schedule, kids' schedules, all of those different types of schedules so that you can get plugged into one of our Big Serve groups this year. You got to hear some great stories. I guarantee you'll have a great story from it too. It is going to be such a blessing getting to go and bless other people. So if you want to get plugged into that, you can scan the QR code or go to my3c.org to fill out a Connect card to be able to get plugged into one of our big serve groups. If you have any questions at all about our sermon series that we just went through with the end times, you can go to my3c.org to a submit a question tab. You can put your question in there. This week, Pastor Dave is out of town. He's actually on top of a mountain right now, somewhere in Colorado hiking. He's probably going to talk about it in 2 weeks in his next message, like nonstop. He's probably listening to this right now. He's like, oh.
He's like, for that, I'm going to do it in 3 weeks.
But Pastor Perry and I will be sitting down and we'll be answering any questions to finish out our End Times little series that we've been doing on our Q&A. So if you have any questions about the End Times, now is the time to ask them so that we can try our best to answer all of them. Because after this upcoming Q&A, we're going to be moving on to a new topic. So it'll probably be a while before we get to those End Times ones because our goal is to answer as many of the questions as we possibly can. So if you have any questions at all, go to my3c.org.